morning, everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to Advocates for Community Wellness, ABSOL Delicious, Eat Well for Better Health, Foods That Heal. Today's moderator is yours truly, Shirley Mims, and it's my pleasure to be here with you today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I am the Community Relations and Special Projects Director for Advocates for Community Wellness. Today, and the month of October, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so Advocates for Community Wellness is having a three-part series. All right, a three-part series. The first part is today, October the 13th. We have one on the 20th and one on the 27th. 11 a.m. to noon, virtual, free, and open to the public. So we're asking you to invite your family and friends. And here's a statistic. 1 of 3 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. So know your risk, know your risk. And so we are going to be doing all 3 parts, and we hope that you will stay in tune with us as we continue to educate with this subject, breast cancer awareness. And these are our educational series. Thank you. So today we have our founder and executive director, Del Kane. She is also the project director at ABSOL Delicious, Eat Well for Better Health. A little bit about our founder. Del is a professional nutrition specialist. She's a cooking coach. She's a plant-based nutrition educator. She has over 20 years of experience in the health promotion and disease prevention sector. And I wanted you to know that also Del Kane is a survivor, an overcomer. 7 years of program director along with the Journey Cancer Awareness and Survival Support Program. So she understands this because she has traveled that journey. I'm so glad to have her with us today. A little bit about Advocates for Community Wellness, which was founded in 2003. It is a faith-based holistic health promotion and nutritional education ministry without walls. We bring wellness and culinary programs to you and your community, where you live, work, learn, shop, play, and where you worship. We've got it all covered. It is our goal to be an international health promotion and restoration of health ministry, closing the health disparity gap and medically underserved communities. And we focus on providing information, educating, promoting health, nutrition, healthy cooking classes, wellness programs, and teaching the relationship between diet, health, and chronic diseases. Right before your very eyes is the team of Advocates for Community Wellness. And we are grateful because sometimes it takes a village, sometimes it takes a team. And so we have a team. As you can see, we have Del Kane, who is the founder and executive director. We have Regina Hopkins. She is the director of health education and a program manager. Sharia Moore Houston, the community engagement coordinator. And then we have a new team player, and that would be Colleen Casey, and her title is Room Coordinator Manager. Welcome, Colleen. And I'm yours truly, Shirley Mims, Community Relations and Special Projects. And we work as a team. Very grateful to have all of us connecting together to bring what we need to the floor and bring to the table for our audience. Thank you. So ABSOL Delicious, we have a mission, and this is a program that we're featuring today. Improving eating habits for healthier lifestyle, increased longevity and quality of life. That's the mission. So if you have a mission, you have to have some sort of goals. So we have 3 goals. The first goal is to increase consumption of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and decrease consumption of animal protein to encourage a more nutrient-rich diet plan for better health and to reduce risk factors of chronic diseases and illnesses. And finally, to obtain a healthier weight through consumption of plant-based nutrition. All right, that's our goals. Thank you. Now, if you registered today, you're here and you are part of this audience today, You should have received a disclaimer, waiver, consent. Hopefully you have read that. And we will let you know that all of our Zoom sessions are recorded and you can turn them on at your discretion. And all of the recipes that we have, you can modify them for your personal health. We will have that on today's schedule. So just know that you have to modify it to your needs. All right, thank you. We always start off with a biblical reference, and this is our reference for today. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not dismay, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41:10, NIV. Thank you. All right, we're coming on down the line very quickly. We got some presenters on the agenda for today. And this was all set up like you're setting up a table. You know how you put the plate, the fork, the napkin, the cup? Well, this is what we have up here. First, we're bringing to the floor Chef Karen Crawford Moore with her culinary experience. She is going to prepare a delicious, hearty minestrone soup. Soup is up. All right. Then we have our very own Del Kane, our founder, and she's a nutritionist. She's bringing to the table foods that fight cancer. All right. And finally, Shirley Mims, yours truly, we're going to discuss lifetime at our lifetime discussion area, battling cancer with nutrition. All of these have been put in place with you in mind. Take your notes, get your questions, and we're just glad that you came along today, because this is information that we really do need. And we have done our homework and we presented it, and we hope that all that we have done, that it will help someone that's on this line today. Thank you. So now I'm going to introduce our featured chef for today. Karen Crawford Moore has more than 20 years. She's worked in the culinary industry. She was a culinary instructor at Robert Morris. She's the founder of TLC Personal Chefing. She's taught various group community cooking classes, even from ages 4 to adults. Oh my. And over the past 10 years, excuse me, Karen has served in-home clients with special dietary needs and regimens. I need to call on her for that. All right, and Karen specializes in bringing the restaurant experience into your homes. How nice is that to have your own personal chef? Oh my God, I would love that. All right, so that's a little bit about our chef that we're going to be featuring today. And here is what is on her menu. Eat well for better health. Today's meal, cancer fighting and healing meals. That looks so good in that bowl. A hearty minestrone soup, the power of the plant. That soup warms the heart, people. It warms the heart. All right, so next we're going to show what all is in this recipe. Now, there's a lot of things in here, but you know, when you're doing a minestrone soup, there is a lot. There's a lot of vegetables. I see some zucchini, green beans. We got carrots. I mean, all the good stuff. All right, let's go to the next slide. And here's a little bit more of, these are her directions now, but these are really actually more ingredients, ladies and gentlemen. You know, your crushed red pepper, fresh ground black pepper. The pepper puts a little stuff in there. That's good. Then we got some kale and some collard greens. Now, I love the collard greens, and I'm becoming fond of the kale. All right, so I'm just going to be honest. All right, the next slide, please. So these, it's going to be the directions. Here's the directions on how she's going to put it all together. And then she's going to show it off. And I won't be there to taste it this time. Now that we have the directions, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you our featured chef for today. And I call her Chef Karen. All right, Chef Karen, I'm throwing it on over there to you, girl. Catch it now.
Got it. Thank you, Miss Shirley.
All right.
You've said it all. So, you know, I think I should make you my pitch man or my pitch woman.
Okay.
You can just go around and puff me up and pump me up and
Yeah.
get the word out, because you did an excellent job. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chef Karen Crawford Moore. As Ms. Shirley already said, I am a personal chef. I have my own business, which is TLC Personal Chefing. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to my Facebook page, which is TLC Cooks, TLCCOOKS, TLC Cooks on Facebook. So today and it is a kind of a chilly day in Chicago this morning. So we kicked around some ideas and thought soup would be a really great idea. We're into fall now, and the weather has shown us that appropriately. So we have lots of ingredients, lots of veg. So I think this would be a great way if you're trying to incorporate more vegetables into your daily diet, by creating a soup. That would be a great way to do it, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vegetables in this soup. So I don't count the onion. Onion is actually considered a separate category. I didn't count the tomatoes, so that with the tomatoes, that's 8. 8 vegetables, so you get 8 for the price of 1. Okay, so who knows what these are? I like to hear participation. If anybody knows, who wants to share verbally or throw it in the chat, if they know what either of these things are.
Zucchini and summer squash.
Say again, summer
Summer
squash.
squash, right? And I'm thinking that's zucchini or
Yes.
cucumber.
Yes, ding, 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 you get the prize, you get the gold star. And so, yes, this is zucchini. It looks a lot like a cucumber, except it's flat on one end. I already lobbed that off, but it's kind of like a flat little knob on the top of it. But other than that, it looks a lot like cucumber. So you don't get them confused. And then this is kind of its cousin, yellow squash. It's kind of shaped that it's always a little bigger at the bottom than the top, but pretty much they're similar in texture and so forth. So except one's yellow, one's green. This one's and the zucchini is a little denser. So I'm just going to cut these up, and then also I know we're focusing on breast cancer today, but I just thought I would also mention that zucchini and yellow squash are great with cold and flu season, handling cold and flu season. It's supposed to help you recover a little bit faster. And I have a sick husband at home, so maybe I should be taking some of this home to him. So this is the zucchini, and it cuts pretty easily. And so you could, what can you do with zucchini? You can roast it. You can grill it. You can certainly add it to a soup. You could saute it with a little garlic. And yes, you could, of course, you could also deep fry it. Or you could try it in if you have an air fryer, you could try it in there, breading it and then putting it in the deep air fryer, and to see if you can get, and you could probably get kind of that crispy texture that we all enjoy so much. And these they call them summer squashes, but now pretty much you can get these year round. You can get these year round. So it's not like they're going away for the winter, even though they call them summer squash. There's like a huge quantity of them in the summer months, but you can certainly get them at your local supermarket all year round. Okay, so we're going to go over to our pot. Well, let me go over here. You getting so so in here I have what's called mirepoix. So that is key element for soups and stocks making. So I mean, the general rule of thumb is 2 parts onion, 1 part carrot, 1 part celery. I didn't quite make the mark there, but it's close. So don't turn me in. So these are mushrooms. These are button mushrooms that have been chopped. Green beans. These are green beans that have, these are actually frozen. So, you know, the rule of thumb is fresh is best, but frozen is the next best. And what's nice about this is that it, you know, all the work's been done. So there was no chopping or anything involved here. And then these are cannellini beans. So these are like an Italian white bean. I left the can here for you guys to see. So it's kind of like a, I believe these are also known as white kidney beans. So we'll be adding that later. And then of course we have canned diced tomatoes. And we have spinach. Spinach and mushrooms are our key ingredients that we wanted to focus in on today because they're very helpful with breast cancer prevention. Okay, so let's get the, so I'm gonna go over to my stove here. And I wanna thank our friends at Iman's Market, where I'm at today, for providing this wonderful space and this wonderful kitchen. And they've been more than kind to me. I feel like part of the team almost over here. And they are located at 1207 West 63rd Street. And they have a good selection. Most of the ingredients you see here were purchased, it come from the Iman Market. So here I just have a little bit of olive oil in my pot here, and I'm warming it. And I'm gonna start with, I almost always start with my onion or my mirepoix. So I'm gonna toss that in. I hear the sizzle. I know that so I'm gonna cook this just until my onions are translucent. And this mixture, my fancy French word here, you could also use to make your own stocks, as well as make soup. So if you're really on your A game and you have some time, you could, you know, chop up onion, celery, carrots, bag those up, put them in the freezer, and you have them ready to go whenever you know you want to create something. And so I was talking about the mirepoix and how you can use it not only for soups, but you can also use it for stock making. And a kind of a prep ahead tip would be to chop up all of your onion, your carrots, and your celery, and then you could put those in Ziploc bags and freeze them for future use. So I'm just sauteing the vegetables, and I'm waiting for the onions to become translucent, and then I'll add the rest of my ingredients. That's called sweating. If you're not, you're just cooking, you get that clear color out of your onion. That's called sweating. As opposed to if I was using higher heat and cooked it longer, it would actually turn, you know, a little bit brown. Or like people like to saute onions to put on various items, sandwiches, and such. So that's a difference worth mentioning. Does anybody have any questions?
Where's the market where you get your foods again?
I'm sorry, say again?
Where's the market that you get your different foods again?
This is the Iman Market at 1207 West 63rd Street.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so let's show you all of this. So you can see here that it's no longer, the onion is no longer that bright, you know, kind of an opaque white color, but it's more of a clear color, what we call translucent, or we call that process, we call that sweating the onion. So now I'm gonna add my summer squash, my zucchini and yellow squash. I'm gonna add some seasonings, just a little bit of sea salt, black pepper, I like peppers.
Do we have to add the salt or can we keep that out if we want the sodium low?
Say again?
Do we have to put in salt or can we keep that out if we want to keep our?
Absolutely leave it out. You can absolutely leave it out. And there's some great substitutions out there as well, or you can just kick up your spices. So here I have, this is Italian seasoning. And so you're getting a mix of oregano, basil, marjoram, rosemary, thyme, and thyme, savory, and sage. So this is, you know, for one jar, you're getting several different spices. And I like it because I do quite a bit of Italian cooking, so it really comes in handy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my mushrooms. Mushrooms as well as the zucchini and the yellow squash have a tendency to absorb all of the liquid or in the pot. So just be mindful of that. That's normal.
Chef Karen, how long do you cook that for until they get soft or?
Yeah, just a little bit soft.
Yeah, you don't want them soft like mashed potatoes, though. You don't want.
Oh no, just
okay.
Yeah, we still want it to be firm.
Right.
We're just cooking it a little bit, so just for a few minutes.
Okay.
So here, this is what I was saying. The mushrooms, as you can see, you know, they've already got a little more color to them. You can tell, you know, they're starting to cook, but they aren't super, you know, they aren't soft or gushy or anything like that. So you still want them to, you know, hold their texture. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add my tomatoes. These are petite diced tomatoes. I like those in soups. So this is about 28 or 30 ounces of canned diced tomatoes.
I like those. I use those a lot in some dishes that I make too.
Do you? Yeah,
Mhm.
I do too.
They have a nice taste. They really do.
Right. And okay, so I am a little bit of a miser when it comes to my canned goods. So I always like to add a little bit of water to the can just to get and give it a little swish and make sure I get every corner of what's in there.
Okay.
All right, so it's all in there. And this is vegetable stock. And now what I've noticed is there are now stocks or soup bases. Uh-oh. My little tab didn't just want to come off. They're vegetable based, but they're flavored like they give the flavor of chicken or the flavor of beef, but it's still 100% plant-based. So just to make you aware that those products are out there.
And that is the broth, right, Chef Karen? That's the
Yes,
broth.
that's correct.
They have the beef and the chicken flavor. Okay.
Now this is straight vegetable broth, but I'm just saying that there are prices. So some people, even though they're adopting a plant-based lifestyle or they want to incorporate more plant-based eating into their lifestyle, but you still miss the taste of chicken or beef, there are products out there that can accommodate you.
Chef, what's the difference
100%
between what's the difference between bone broth or bone stock and broth? I just keep seeing this bone stuff.
Yeah, so so there is a distinction. The bone broth is actually uses the bone of the animal. Usually it's chicken that they use. So it's actually part of the process, and part of the argument, I'm a little rusty, but part of the argument is that the marrow and other elements of the bone have healing and, you know, restorative properties in them. So as opposed to just using perhaps just you know, a little bit of chicken meat or other parts, they include the chicken. And it's a very it's a rather lengthy process making bone broth versus breaking a traditional stock.
This is Dale. I just want to add one other component to that. In the marrow, that's where the storehouse is of many of your minerals to make different cells in your body. And so when it's cooked and when it's heated, and because sometimes it could be like 12, 13 hours, 24 hours simmering over time, these minerals, it leaches out, and these other components and phytochemicals leaches out of the bone and from the core and center of the bone into the water, which becomes the broth. So it's those storehouse of vitamins and minerals. And I believe there may even be some stem cells, if my memory is correct, that's also stored in your bone marrow.
Thank you, Dale. So at this point, I am basically literally waiting for my liquids to come to a boil. And then at that point, I'm going to add my frozen vegetables, the green beans, and the spinach. Oh, and also I have some whole grain pasta, made pasta. And then the beans will get added, you know, just at the very end. And so what I'm going to say is perhaps we could move on to the next presenter in the interest of time. And when a little bit later, when it's done, I can come back and show you the finished dish.
All right. Thank you, Chef Karen. Keep it cooking now. Our next slide, we're going to be presenting Del Kane.
While she's doing that, I had another thought in reference to the bone broth, you know, pros and cons of buying it, you know, buying the powder versus, you know, making your own. And so many times you know, I'm just saying, you know, many times, like, well, one thought was, okay, remember after Thanksgiving, and sometimes you take that carcass, it's the whole carcass of the turkey, and you can do it with chicken as well. And then you cook it, you know, you cook it down. You also is leaching some of those nutrients that's coming from the bone. So that becomes some broth as well. But many times when we're eating animal proteins, even the chicken bones, or the if you're eating beef and pork and all those bones, we normally just eat it and throw it away. Okay, but how do you think that they make bone broth, especially when you buy it in, you know, in the can or in a liquid? They're taking the animal bones. So why can't we just do it to use it ourselves? I remember seeing a sign when I was traveling. I was traveling in Indiana, and it was, I guess it was a pig farm, slaughterhouse, and it was a big bulletin board that says the pig was jumping into the grinder, and the sign says the only thing we throw away is the ski, you know, because they use every part of the animal. And so they're selling it to someone, they're grinding it up and feeding it to the livestock. And so, but I'm just having us to think is that, you know, we could start using some of those things, and you can just keep them, collect them, and put them in a storage bag and put them in the freezer. When you get a significant amount of them, you know, just, you know, put it on the stove and put some seasoning in it and just let it cook. And then you have your own bone broth, and it's nutritious and it's good for the body. So I just want to share that.
Thank you, Dale. I've never even thought about that. And I have
Mhm.
bones all the time, you know, and so I don't
Yeah.
boil it. Wow.
Yeah. And if you're going to use it, I know sometimes we're eating, you know, off the bone, but sometimes you can also, if you know you're going to do it, you can just cut your meat off and around the bone to
Right.
save it, you know. And but yeah, that's just a little tip.
All right, Dale, you're up.
Okay, so my discussion is going to be on foods that fight cancer. And so we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, so the takeaway here is that we want to make sure that the foods that we're consuming, and this is just generally for good health overall, but especially if you're dealing with a chronic condition like cancer. And I just want to define what chronic is. Chronic generally means that it's something that you were not born with it. Say, for example, if you've been diagnosed with cancer at age 59, you weren't born with it. Otherwise, it was shown up earlier during, you know, from birth to in your adolescence. As children now we see are coming up with being diagnosed with cancer. So that means that it has manifested itself in our body based mainly on our diet, some genetics, our lifestyle, and stress. So it's chronic over time, accumulating. You want to always aim for a colorful fruit and vegetable diet. And you want to make sure that it's a thing that we call is have a rainbow on your plate. And I like to challenge each one of us is when we're eating to have at least, in a setting, have at least 3 colors and make a conscious effort to have at least 3 colors on your plate. You'll get this handout when we send out the video, or we may even send it out before if you like it. So strategies to live by. Once, the best time to think about health is before you receive a diagnosis of chronic illness. It's not after, it's not when you get the diagnosis, and it's not, definitely it's not after you get the diagnosis, it's before, okay? And that's what we call prevention or primary care. I'm taking care of, or preventive care. I'm taking care of myself prior to reduce my risk factors. And that's what this segment is about for this month, is reducing our risk factors. So I'm going to challenge everyone to take an action step today and every day, at least one action step every day to preserve your health so that you can thrive in your later years. Majority of us are getting diagnosed after the age 40, 50, and even in our 60s when it's supposed to be our golden years, but then we're struggling with a health crisis, okay? But if we take action steps now, wherever we are now, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, we will be in better health. And so you want to eat food that nourish your body and that benefit your brain, your bones, and your soul. I want you to really take note. Eat food that nourish your body, that benefits your brain, your bones, and your soul. And number 4, identify ways to reduce stress, relax more, and enjoy life. Right before we came on, we were doing our checks and things of that nature. And right before I said, hey, everybody, let's just take 1 minute to do a little breathing, okay? Just to release. There's an exercise that I do that I came across that added these things to it. I do meditation or breathing exercise, but it was a conscious of breathing in the calm and releasing the anxiety. Breathe in the calm and release the anxiety. And you don't have to do it for a minute. You can just do 3 or 4 of those breaths, and you can see how it resets your body. Next slide. So what I did, and what I hope to continue to do, is I took our recipe. And so these are about 28 foods from the American Institute of Cancer Research that they have identified, and you'll see this throughout many literatures, of foods that fight cancer. And so of those foods, I just checked out of the ones that are in this recipe. These are specific ones. Whole food all have some nourishing and rich nutrients and phytochemicals to aid us in our overall health. But these particular ones, with the vitamins, the minerals, and phytochemicals they have, is specifically, it's been researched and documented that it helps to reduce risk factors. And so we have carrots, we have garlic in the recipe, there is spinach, we have squash, tomatoes, and then whole grains. I just want to do about 3 of these items, and just to, there's going to be another sheet we're going to send you. It's going to be a recipe analysis. So for example, when we look at yellow squash, because we don't talk about them a lot, and the zucchini, I want to say that the darker the flesh, the more nutritious the food is going to be. It's also considered to be a good source of beta carotene, which is a form of vitamin A. And it may protect your cells against the effects of free radicals. Free radicals are when our cells are damaged through the environment and foods that we may eat. Is loaded with vitamin A. and it plays a role in cell function and to support the immune system. Everything about cancer, when I was first diagnosed, the first thing I asked my doctor, I said, I felt that my immune system failed me, you know, because that's what your immune system does. If it spots anything that shouldn't be there, it could be a parasite, a virus, or a damaged cell, it's going to destroy that and remove it out of your system. With cancer, all it takes is one to get by and not be noticed. And that one becomes two, two becomes four, four becomes eight, and it doubles over time. But your immune system, if your immune system I'm going to say Johnny on the spot, it's going to eliminate all of that. Okay, and that's why everyone doesn't get cancer, but some of us do. And I want to bring out the cannelli beans. Now, the cannelli beans contains a wide range of plant chemicals. I'm not going to go into them right now, but one particular group is called isoflavin, and then and there have some phytonutrients. When I first came across the word phytonutrients, and in in the literature I was reading, phyto, P-H-Y-T-O, is like, it pertains to like fighting. It's a phytonutrient, a nutrient that'll fight for you, okay? So when you hear that, think about that when you're reading that and some of the things that you may be reading on nutrition and certain foods. And it will definitely help to reduce cancer risk. So all of these are reducing cancer risk. Okay, and that's what I have for you today. Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you, Dale. All right, I assume that the chef is still cooking away, and so we're just going to move right along. I'm looking at the beautiful wreath here that says hope. It just does something to my soul and my heart. So it's a lifetime discussion time, and it's called Battling Cancer with Nutrition. I'm presenting this as the presenter, Shirley Mims. All right. So this information was actually put together by one of our students here from UIC here in Chicago. And so I'm just going to be presenting it on her behalf to you. She did the homework. Okay, so what is happening to your body? New cells are increasing abnormally. Old cells that are in the body do not die. Healthy organs can no longer function. The growing cells push on to nearby organs. This is not something that can easily be resolved through diet alone. Treatment is important in order to recover. Strength in numbers. Nutrition is a process in which food is taken in and used by the body for growth, to keep the body healthy and to replace tissue. Good nutrition is important for good health. A healthy diet includes foods and liquids that have important nutrients, vitamins, minerals, protein, carbohydrates, fat, and water the body needs. A diet with a focus on plant-based foods along with regular exercise will help cancer patients keep a healthier body weight, maintain strength, and decrease side effects both during and after the treatment. Protein. All right, protein helps build and maintain muscle, which is important for cancer patients who might be having problems eating and are losing weight. Eat a diet higher in plant-based foods, including plant proteins and lower in animal products. All right. Greek yogurt, eggs, soy products, lentils, and beans. 0.8 grams of protein per kilograms, 2.2 pounds of body weight per day. For example, a 150-pound person should consume at least 2 ounces of protein daily. All right, now we're into the fat. Human studies did not prove that a decrease in total fat intake is an effective strategy to combat cancer. Increasing omega-3 fatty acids along with omega-6, that's salmon, eggs, flax seeds, and walnuts. Cancer patients tend to lose a lot of weight and the fat is there to help protect the bones and organs during your treatment. Strive to eat more healthier fats. All right, these are the statistics. Next, please. Essential vitamins, fat soluble vitamins. These antioxidants can help prevent cell damage. The vitamin D, vitamin C, coenzyme Q10, vitamin A, and vitamin E. Breast cancer prevention. Maintaining healthy weight. All right, there's the scale. Healthy eating, physical activity, optimal sleep, and stress reduction. Eat a plant-based diet. Plant foods are rich sources of fiber, antioxidants, and chemicals, which have been shown to increase the risk of cancer, protects the body from other chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. Breast cancer prevention, limited dietary fats. Some studies suggest additional benefits from limiting dietary fats in the diet. Butter, full-fat dairy, poultry skins, fatty meats, hydrogenated oils, some margarines. Instead, include healthful fats like olive oil, avocado, nuts, your seeds, ground fats, seeds, fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and Arctic char. Breast cancer prevention. All right. Soy. Soy is an excellent source of protein, fiber, B vitamins, iron, calcium, and isoflavonoids, which can possibly help bind estrogen and many diseases, the risk of hormone-related cancers such as breast and prostate. Soy may also protect your bones. Now, alcohol is on this list, and alcohol is a strong risk factor for many cancers, including breast cancer. Despite the benefit of the resveratrol, a protochemical in red wine and grapes, experts recommend avoiding alcohol as there appears to be no safe level for prevention of cancer. Saturated fat and trans fats. A lot of us grew up eating foods that might be okay to eat, but aren't necessarily the best thing to eat, especially when you have been diagnosed with cancer. As you build your meal plans, make sure you're not overdoing it with foods that are best to have in small portions. All right, breast cancer prevention, bone health, and vitamin D. Healthy levels of these nutrients can be achieved by consuming the low-fat dairy products like fortified soy milk, oily fish, and eggs. Receiving 10 to 15 minutes of direct sunlight. Okay, dairy in addition to a calcium supplement of 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams, broken into 2 doses now, with up to 2,000 IUs, a total of vitamin D3 daily. Take these together at your largest meals for increased absorption. Vitamin D deficiency is common and may increase the risk of cancer. You may want to ask your doctor to check your blood levels, where 35 to 40 mg or ml. All right, sugar and cancer. Limit concentrated sweets, added sugar from processed foods, and sugary beverages, as these foods provide calories, but they provide very few nutrients. So we are moving right along. And so here are the references for what I've just read. The Foods That Fight Cancer, American Institute for Cancer Research, www.arcr.org. And the references were also found with the Reader's Digest, Foods That Harm, Foods That Heal. And the author is Fran Burkhoff, RD, and Joe Schultz. And that was the PhD. So these are the references for the information that we shared with you today. All right. So if you can pull up the next slide, and I will give them some announcements on the future workshops that we're going to be having that are coming up. And I think the chef has finished her piece. I see it's all in a bowl now, but she has her chef, and she has her microphone on. And so she's smiling. So I just want to take a look at that, and then we're going to be closing out. We're trying to stay on time. All right, chef.
Okay, so when I left you guys, the soup was simmering, and I was waiting for it to come to a boil, and then I added the frozen green beans, the frozen spinach, and the pasta. So here you have it. This is our minestrone soup, and it's got a good amount of spinach in there. And it smells wonderful. I wish I could share the smells with you.
Yes. We're still working on that piece.
We're still working on that technology, right?
How did it taste? Did you taste it? I know you tasted it.
I tasted the pasta to make sure it was done. And actually, I'm a little bit at a loss to find a spoon.
All right, sure, that's fine. So
But I'll keep you guys posted. But it smells good, and hopefully it tastes good as well. So I think maybe I have some friends over here at Iman Market that might help me give some input on that.
yeah, so you'll be able to warm their hearts, and we'll just have to look at it on this end. But we appreciate
Right.
it looks good. And we appreciate you bringing that to the table for us. And it's healthy, it's good. And for those that have chronic diseases and cancer, you have all of those ingredients in there, and that's important. All right, Chef, you have a great day. Thank you again. And we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care.
It's my pleasure, Shirley. Great to be with you.
All right, thank you. All right, so this is a 3-part series. Today, of course, is the 13th. And then next Thursday, will be cancer awareness and education, saying they all matter, because they do. And then Thursday, October the 27th, Foods That Heal, that's be part 2 of that. Nutrition, discussion, and live cooking demo. And that's from 11 to 12. The next week, we have a speaker, Regina Hopkins, one of our very own. She will be heading up the discussion on They All Matter. So we're hoping that you can join us. You can register at www.a4cw.org/events and sign up. But if you have signed up today, then you should be covered for all 3 parts of this series. All right, so here's another one of our programs along the journey, Breast Cancer Awareness and Survival Support Program. And this is headed up with Regina and her staff. And it's a great program. So you can go on our website and look and read the details on this. And this may be something that you want to take a part in as well. All right, and here's one more. New community program, Well Woman Wellness Program, increasing well woman's visits and promoting self-care. That is very important. This is also on our website. There's details about this program. If you're interested, read the information and get back to us. All right. So now we want you to keep in touch with us. Learn more about our programs through our website or our email address. If you have a comment or a statement you'd like to make, there is our phone number, our address, and then through social media, Facebook, and we also have Instagram. So this is how you can stay in touch with us. And we want to stay in tune with each other so that we can help one another. All right, so we always close out with a prayer, and we shall do that today. Lord, look upon me with eyes of mercy. May your healing hand rest upon me. May your life-giving powers flow into every cell of my body and into the depths of my soul, cleaning, purifying, restoring me to wholeness and strength for service in your kingdom. Amen.